There is a bird above your garden right now that has not landed on anything solid in nearly a year. It has not perched on a fence. It has not rested on a branch. It has eaten while flying, drunk while flying, very likely slept while flying, for months, over an ocean, over a desert, over countries you have never visited. And tonight, of all the roofs in all the streets in this country, it is circling yours. Not because it is lost, because it is looking for one exact gap under one exact tile, the same gap it left the last time it touched anything solid at all. You are not watching a bird pass over your garden. You are watching the final few minutes of a 6,000-mile journey, and it is about to end at your house. Today, you will learn what that scream above your garden actually means, how far the bird making it has traveled to get there, and something about how it lives that most people find genuinely difficult to believe. None of this needs embellishing. The facts alone are the strangest thing about it. Stay until the end, because the last thing you learn about this bird is the one that changes how you hear it forever. That gap under your roof tile is not just a gap. To the swift searching for it, it is the single most important square inch of Britain. Research from the British Trust for Ornithology has tracked individual swifts returning to the same nest site, the same gap under the same roof tile, the same crack in the same church tower, year after year, for the whole of their adult lives. This is not a general return to the neighborhood. It is a return to one specific, unmarked opening in one specific building, identified again after an absence of 10 months and a journey of thousands of miles. It found the gap again, not the street, not the roof line, the gap. In your garden, this means the swift you are hearing above the house right now is very likely not a new arrival exploring the area. It is very likely a bird that has stood on this exact roof before and has just spent the better part of a year finding its way back to it. 6,000 miles is not a figure of speech. The RSPB has confirmed exactly what that journey involves. British swifts winter in sub-Saharan Africa and migrate more than 6,000 miles twice a year to reach the UK, stopping to refuel over places like Portugal and France on the way north. Over the course of a lifetime, a single swift can fly in the region of 2 million miles, the equivalent of several return trips to the moon. 2 million miles, one bird. This is not a casual visit to your garden. It is the outcome of a journey that most humans will never come close to matching, undertaken every single year by an animal that weighs less than an ounce. In your garden, this means the scream you hear overhead is not background noise. It is the sound of an arrival that took real cost to make. Here is the part that makes never really lands literal rather than poetic. The RSPB documents that swifts spend almost their entire lives in flight, eating, drinking, and sleeping on the wing, and mating on the wing as well. Outside the breeding season, a swift may not touch a solid surface for months at a time. It sleeps while flying. Researchers studying related aerial species have recorded exactly this: brief, partial rest taken mid-flight, at altitude, while the bird continues moving through the night sky. The only time a swift chooses to land deliberately is to breed, which is precisely why that one gap under your roof tile matters so much to it. In your garden, this means the swift wheeling above your house tonight may not have rested on anything solid since it last left that same rooftop nearly a year ago. The sky above your garden is emptier than it used to be, and there is a reason for that. Breeding bird survey data, analyzed by the RSPB and the BTO, shows that the UK swift population has declined by more than half since 1995. The species was added to the UK Red List for birds of conservation concern in 2021. The clearest driver identified so far is the loss of nesting sites. Once a swift finds its gap, it depends on that gap existing every year, and modern roofing, insulation, and renovation are steadily closing the small openings older buildings once left behind. If a nest site is sealed while the birds are away in Africa, a pair can lose an entire breeding season simply searching for a replacement. The gap has to still be there. In your garden, this means that a roof repair carried out at the wrong time of year, on the wrong part of the house, can end a return that has been happening for longer than the people living there have owned the building. Stay with me, because this next part changes everything. Swift's pair for life. Research collated by the BTO and the RSPB shows that the same two birds will return, independently, across thousands of miles, to reunite at the same nest site year after year, each bird making its own 6,000-mile journey alone, arriving within days of the other, to the same small gap in the same roof. Neither bird waits for the other before leaving Africa. Neither bird is guided back. Each one simply finds its way, alone, across a continent and a sea, to the one place it expects the other to be. Think about what that means for the pair circling above your garden this evening. They did not travel together. They found each other again, on purpose, at a single point on a map neither of them could see from the ground. And they chose your roof as that point. Not a roof somewhere. Not a roof in the abstract. This one. The gap they are searching for tonight is above your head, in the house you sleep in, on the street where you live your ordinary life. They came back for this exact place. That is not a small thing to have happened above your garden, even if you never once looked up to notice it. Maybe you have looked up. Maybe you already know the sound of your own swifts, the particular evening they always seem to arrive, the year they went quiet and you worried, the year they came back, and you felt something you didn't quite expect to feel about a bird. Tell me in the comments. I read every single one. These are the stories I carry with me longest. I'll see you in the garden.